Welcome back. You're watching Morning Live on SABC2. Thank you for staying with us. Barry Gilder was born in Durban, South Africa in 1950. He graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree in English and Philosophy in 1972. He also served on the National Executive Committee of the National Union of South African Students from 1974 to 1975 and went into exile in 1976, where he served in various capacities with the African National Congress until his return to South Africa in 1991. He's recently released memoirs, Songs and Secrets, South Africa from Liberation to Governance, as a story unlike any other and yet has similarities that resonate in the hearts of those that fought for freedom. He joins me now in studio. Barry, good morning. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, sir.
Let's talk about Songs and Secrets. I mean, it's the issues and the way you approached it. It feels like it's a memoir. It should be an autobiography. It should be, but it really is your life looking at in the greater context of the fight for freedom.
You know, Sam, I wrote the book not so much as a memoir, but I wanted to tell the story of the liberation struggle and the experience of coming into government and the challenges of trying to turn apartheid around. And I thought the best way to tell it was through my own experience of it. So the book doesn't start with I was born on such and such a day. But it starts with me going into MK and going to Moscow for training and then eventually coming back to the country and serving in different posts in government. So I really wanted to use my window on that particular story.
How emotional was this journey? Because there at one point you're sitting in the airplane talking to a former friend or a friend, and you guys are looking back at how the fight for freedom has changed. And there was a lot of talk about what the new guys are doing wrong as opposed to the old guys. How emotional was this story?
Look, I'm not sure if emotion is the right word. I mean, the experience of the liberation struggle and of trying to turn apartheid around has been a tough experience. Of course, there have been emotions involved.
For sure.
But it's not about new guys and old guys. We're all the same guys. And we're the same guys that fought the liberation struggle, who have tried to govern and tried to address the injustices and equities of apartheid against huge odds.
I like the balance in terms of the personal stories. I mean, one of the stories that stand out for me and that was very, very funny was the story involving how you met Ronnie Kasrils, and then later Ronnie Kasrils flooding your hotel. You can just share that story with our viewers if you haven't read the book, because it's a very funny story.
I should tell them to read the book. If I tell the story, they might not
No,
buy it. No, when I arrived in Angola to join MK, the first night they put me up in a sort of downtown hotel called the Globo.
Yeah.
And I was there with another comrade who also just arrived. Ronnie Kasrils turned up and asked me where's the whiskey, because I was obliged to bring a bottle of duty-free from where I came. So we drank and we talked, and then he asked if he could use our bathroom because he'd just come from the camps.
And he wanted to shower.
So he goes into the bathroom, the other comrade and I are chatting, and then we hear him screaming from a swear word which I won't repeat on TV. And then he complains that the water went off while he was in the middle of his shower, still full of soap. So he dried himself off, he left, we went to sleep. I woke up in the morning, got out of bed, and the hotel room was flooded. Because when the water went off, he forgot to switch off the tap. So when the water came back on, that's the story. And then he became Minister of Water Affairs sometime later.
You do note that in the book. I mean, let's go back to the story of you being at university and being part of that movement and all that. You talk about, the uncomfortability of leaving a situation. What made a young Jewish boy back then, roll up his sleeves and decide, I'm going to dig in?
Yeah. How many hours have we got for this interview? Look, I grew up in a sort of fairly liberal family. I grew up as a young Jewish boy being told about the suffering of the Jews throughout history, and when I looked around me, I thought black people in South Africa are the Jews of the modern time. And those were just sort of emotional ideas at the time, and until I started going to university, began to understand what was going on. So I kind of got emotionally politicized as a kid and intellectually politicized as a young adult. And I just felt I couldn't theorize about the challenges of apartheid and exploitation. I had to do something.
And that mobilized you to get involved.
Yeah.
We've run out of time, but the book is available at all good bookstores. You can go and get it. It's a good read. I recommend it. That was the Director of Operations at the Mapungubwe Institute for Strategic Reflection, Barry Gilder, talking to us about his recently released autobiography, Songs and Secrets. It's, as I mentioned, available at all good bookstores. Let us know what you think if you've read it. It's Morning Live at sabc.co.za, or you can talk to us on Twitter. It's at Marshall Samm or at Lebotinani. I wanted to ask you,